Oh shit. Don't worry, we made it. And your most loved tray is finished and glowing. Curious how it came to life? Let's start from the beginning and make a terrazzo product together. And we will have as a base color light pink, the terrazzo colors neon orange, neon yellow, neon pink, blue, dusty pink, and light blue. 6 terrazzo flakes to make. We know that this product needs 1837.5 of Jesmonite 100, AC100. So if you don't know by now, we use a lot of this material, Jesmonite AC100, and it's a mix between liquid and powder. And we do all these calculations in our Jesmonite calculator, so we already know how much it needs. But then this is our baseline. This terrazzo tray will need to have terrazzo flakes, so you are not going to do everything. And for terrazzo flakes, we usually do 30% will be in flakes, which means that we are going to have 551 grams of terrazzo, which means if we don't need to make it all, if we do 1837.5 minus the 551 grams, we actually need to make 1286.25 grams of this composite. This product needs 1837.5 grams of Jesmonite. We are going to use 30% in terrazzo flakes. This means that we need around 551 grams of terrazzo flakes. So in this case, we're not going to need this full amount because it will be in terrazzo flakes, which means that we need to make around 1286 grams of this. Now, how much do we need in terms of terrazzo colors? Because we have 6 colors that we need to make. So very simply, we're going to divide this amount by 6, and we're going to know how much do we need for each color. And if we do 551 divided by 6, we need around 92 grams of each terrazzo color. And that's what we're going to make. We have some pre-made terrazzo colors, so we can already measure 92 grams of each terrazzo color. Here we have our terrazzos that are already pre-made, so let's start by measuring the light blue. And we're hoping we have enough. We do, well, actually a little bit more, but it's okay. First color done. What other colors do we have? We already have neon yellow pre-made. If you do a little bit more, it's also not a problem. As you can see, 95. Another color done. We also have neon pink. Let's get this color. Put it again to zeros. A little bit more. And the pink in this tray is going to look super cute, so I'm just going to use everything. Let's check another color. What we have missing is neon orange, blue, and dusty pink. Let's make the terrazzo. Only these colors together will already be very cute. We're going to make dusty pink, blue, and neon orange. These cups will take much more than 92 grams that we need, but we also like to keep some terrazzo already pre-made, as you could see. So here is a tip. If you do terrazzo, just make sure to already have some colors pre-made. It's going to help you so you don't do every time you need to do the colors. To make the blue, we need blue pigment. To make the neon orange, we need neon orange powder pigments. To make the dusty pink, we need red oxide. We have this plastic sheet so we can make the terrazzo. We're setting up our terrazzo plastic sheets. And now we can make the terrazzo. Let's go. Let's get our Jesmonite AC100. Or let's do 200 so we can do more Jesmonite or terrazzo. And let's measure all at the same time to save us a little bit of time. And if we added 200 grams of Jesmonite liquid, that means that we need 500 grams of Jesmonite powder. You can do these calculations directly on the Jesmonite calculator. I'm gonna start by doing the dusty pink. Using a mixing blade, it's much easier. Definitely we need to put a little bit more. Oh shit. Okay, now I put too much. If this ever happens that you put a little bit too much, you can add white. So far, actually, didn't seem that it was too much. Maybe it wasn't well mixed, so that was a good thing for me. Well mixed, let's make the terrazzo. Just grabbing here a spoon. And by the way, using silicone stuff is the best. And we're gonna pour. In 15 minutes or so, this will be already solidified and we can start smashing it to make the terrazzo flakes. Next color, we're going to make neon orange, and it's the same thing, 500 grams of powder. Not going to show you this whole process because it's all the same. I'm just going to show you how we mix the neon pigments because it's powder, it's different than the usual liquid pigments. And the rest, yeah, mixing it as everything as usual. So to mix the powder pigments, we actually like to put the powder in another container. Super bright. And add it to the powder. And then mix it together. Power, and already colored powder. We're going to put this already colored powder into our Jesmonite liquid. And we're going to mix it. So basically, liquid pigments to liquid, powder pigments to powder. And now, of course, adding the rest of the powder that it wasn't colored. And this is also ready. Try to make this layer thin, but it doesn't have to be like extremely thin like paper. Okay, also done. Let's continue to the blue. For the blue, we're just using Jesmonite pigment, the blue Jesmonite pigment. A little bit darker than... Okay, today I'm putting too much pigment, apparently, and the blue is quite strong, so I hope it didn't become too dark? I guess we'll find out in a bit. Same thing, 500 grams of powder. This is how the blue looks. I actually want it to be just a tiny bit lighter because what happens when we seal is that it's going to become even darker. So let's put a little bit of white. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, okay. So didn't mess up today. Well, not today, but didn't mess up now. And our blue is also ready. Let's pour it in our plastic sheets. All the colors that we're missing are ready. My hands are dirty. This happens. Jesmonite is messy, but the final result is super worth it. Okay, so in the meantime, this color has already dried. We can see. And basically, what we do is that we start making it smaller and smaller to make the terrazzo. Okay, all our terrazzo is made. Not gonna lie, tiring. I'm so happy that we had only 3 colors to make and the other ones were done. So yeah, take that as a tip. When you have to make colors, just make a lot of terrazzo already. So let's go back to our terrazzo colors. So we also need 92 of neon orange. Next color, 92, or approximately like I already did. And last color, our darker blue, also 92. All colors are here now. Just mix them to see how they look. So this is how it looks. Sometimes we notice that we have some bigger pieces and we can always try to cut them afterwards. All good. If they are extremely big and thick, and if it has been multiple days, you're not gonna have an easy time just snapping it like I just did. So for example, this one was getting a little bit hard, but so this is our terrazzo. All the colors are mixed, and now we're gonna make our products. We're gonna make a 30 centimeter terrazzo tray. To remind, we need 1286 of the base color. Let's go to the Jesmonite calculator, and you can see my reflection, so you can see using kind of cool setup. Let's put the total amount. So it was around to 1286, so this means around 367. I like to round it up, so I'm gonna do 368 of liquid, and that means 920 of powder. Now, as I said in the beginning, we want a very, very light pink color. So I cannot now mess up, otherwise even if I put, then I need to put white and it's going to be a little bit too much. So this is just a tiny bit of red. Let's see if I don't mess up. Okay, going to put white to balance this color. This was the shade that I was going for. Very, very light. Mixing done. Let's remove some air bubbles. Next step, we're gonna be able to mix our terrazzo. Mix all this well. Our terrazzo is mixed in our base color. Let's remove some more bubbles. And we're gonna turn on. This is a vibration table that we made ourselves. Just going to vibrate this a little bit more. Have a button here to regulate the intensity. Okay. Seems leveled, and we'll wait around 30 minutes. See when it's dry. Let's demold. Now it needs to be sanded. All right, let's get into some good old terrazzo sanding. We're starting off with 120 grit, dry sanding with our favorite tool of all time, the Festool Rotex. This thing is amazing, and honestly, we would have given up making terrazzo by now if it wasn't for it. Terrazzo is definitely a labor of love. It takes hours of work, and sometimes we think to ourselves, are we even charging enough for this? But the results are always worth it. We're still loving the process, even when our arms don't. If you want a deep dive on just the sanding part, we already have another YouTube video. I'm linking it up above. After the 120 grit, we move up to the 320 for that smooth finish and removing any scratches that the previous grit did to reveal the terrazzo. It can be a slow and dusty process, but there's something really satisfying about seeing it come to life. Next step will be wet sanding. First, we had to patch a few holes and we went with neon orange. It's totally normal to get holes in terrazzo, which are tiny air bubbles trapped during casting and can leave these little craters behind. Usually, we're okay with leaving a few, but this time it really felt like too much. We wanted a cleaner, higher quality finish. We've got a full video on our patching process linked up above if you are curious. For the wet sanding, we start with 120 grit. We gotta do this part by hand because machines just can't reach those edges. It's messy, it's slow, but it is necessary. Then we finish things off with 400 grit to get that nice smooth surface across the whole tray. After that, Let it dry for 24 to 48 hours before we move on to sealing. Terrazzo is not fast, but it is worth it. Time to seal it up. We are using our go-to wax, Clark Stone and Concrete. We have been using it for over 4 years now and it never disappoints. The colors instantly pop, everything becomes richer, deeper, just a little bit more alive. If you want all the details on this process, we are also linking a full video up above that walks you through it in detail. We start with the first layer, let it sit for a bit, then buff it out. Then we hit it with a second layer and also buff that one out too. This step always feels like magic, like the colors finally wake up and become more lively. After that final touch, we are adding a 1mm self-adhesive cork backing. It's clean, it's simple, and it gives the tray a nice soft base and a more high quality finish. We couldn't resist going one step further, so we laser engraved our logo right into the cork. It's a small detail, but it does make a big difference. And here it is, the finished tray. After all this work, everything is sealed, backed, looking so good. Even better, this tray, along with the 10cm trinket dish, the 20cm tray, found a new home with a customer. And honestly, that's the best part, seeing these pieces go out into the world that we made it. And if you made it this far, you're officially Terrazzo people. And we'll see you in the next project.